late 2022, I had accepted the fact that the Disney Store Cars diecast line was dead. A bunch of Disney stores had closed around that time, and we hadn't gotten any releases for all of 2022, so I just assumed that, yeah, alright, we're not getting any more. The last thing I expected was for 2 3-packs based on the Cars tunes to be released in late 2022. This one based on Heavy Metal Mater, and this other one, let me grab it real quick, based on the Aeromator short. As soon as I saw these, I knew I had to have them, simply because across both of these 3-packs, the only car I have the Mattel release of is Heavy Metal Lightning McQueen. Yeah, never got Dex, even though he was released as a single a good few times, and I never got Heavy Metal Mater, who they never really made it easy to get. He was only ever released in multi-packs. I didn't know that as a kid, and I remember looking all over for Heavy Metal Mater, and all I could ever find was the McQueen. So, you know, if I can't get the Mattel one, at least I could get the Disney Store one, which is typically inferior and of worse quality, despite being more expensive. But hey, I like collecting the Disney Store cars, I always have, and it's always nice to see new Disney Store Cars releases. It was crazy to get new Cars Toon releases from the Disney Store in late 2022. I know Cars Toons have finally returned to the Cars diecast line in 2023, but still, this was crazy to get in late 2022. I was not expecting this. If anything, I was expecting new items based on Cars on the Road. They didn't do that, and they just gave us Cars Toons items. Now we have Disney Store on the Road stuff, but again, this was just so cool to get. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Disney Store Heavy Metal Mater 3-pack, which includes the one and only Dex, Heavy Metal Lightning McQueen, and Heavy Metal Mater. We've got the Heavy Metal Mater logo there, as per usual. Nothing else of note on the packaging here. It's interesting that they still use this style of artwork, which I don't think Mattel's used for a few years, but a lot of companies use this sort of blue color scheme for cars. I think that was sort of introduced with the Blue Desert line. But yeah, it's sort of universal to use this sort of design style across all kinds of Cars merchandise. With this being a Disney Store release, you better believe unboxing the cars is like trying to break someone out of Alcatraz. Really should have brought my tripod for this. Let me guess, there's more tape? Yeah, there's always more tape. There's always more tape on Disney Store cars. Don't you forget it. Okay, now we should be able, there we go. Now we pulled that out. But we're not out of the woods just yet, because as per usual, everything is twist tie. Just all of the twist ties. Just every single twist tie you could imagine is here right now. Luckily, they aren't too hard to get out, but man, the Disney Store has always been overprotective of their Cars diecast. This one is tied really tight for some reason. Just get that out of there. There we go. And with that, we've freed Mater. That's one of the 3 out. Now we just got to get the other 2. So here are all 3 of these guys out of the package. And the first thing you should know is that none of these are pullback. That's right. For the first time since 2018, the Disney Store has released non-pullback cars. And honestly, I don't really know how I feel about that. Yeah, the pullback stuff was a gimmick, but it was a gimmick that set the Disney Store apart from other Cars lines. They weren't always pullback. They switched over in 2018, and everything from that point onwards was a pullback item. But doing non-pullback stuff again is an interesting choice. It's not like the lenticulars when they were coming out, where you could buy lenticular items and still buy normal items. No, everything was a pullback. So it's interesting for them to have not done that for these 3-packs, especially when the Cars on the Road stuff goes back to being pullback. I'm a little disappointed, honestly. But hey, if you never liked the pullback gimmick, here you have some regular diecasts. I don't mind, but with the higher price point, it was nice getting the pullback gimmick, so at least you have a little something extra with your cars. This 3-pack sells for $25. Compare that to the recently released Ivy 3-pack from Mattel, which is $10 less and includes 2 regular cars and a deluxe. yeah, Disney Store stuff is always more expensive. They're a bit larger, 1/64 scale instead of 1/55 scale, but they're also typically lower quality in terms of paint applications and details, so it is a little disappointing losing that additional pullback gimmick, and I am kind of disappointed that this means the Air Mater pack won't have it. I was really looking forward to having a pullback plain Mater. Anyway, let's start off with Dex here. Dex, of course, uses the same mold as Tex, but the Disney Store also just straight up gave him the same face. This is the pullback Tex from a few years ago, which uses the same design as their older Tex diecast. Dex, I believe, was released back in around 2016 or so from the Disney Store. I think a little while after they did a Tex. I'm pretty sure that these not being pullback means that they are just straight re-releases of older releases. I know there was a Heavy Metal McQueen on a Dex. I'm not sure if they ever did a Heavy Metal Mater, but I assume that this is just a re-release. If any of these are actually new releases in this or the Air Mater pack, definitely let me know in the comments, guys. I'm not that good with Disney Store history, but I know that I'm pretty sure all of them in both of these packs are just straight re-releases of older releases, which is fine. But yeah, a little disappointing. Mattel went out of their way to give Dex a different face, but I think it's alright that he has the same face as Tex. I think it's kind of funny because they are basically the same character. This really just hammer homes the Dex is just a red Tex aspect of the character. Of course, we've got sort of the cow print on the roof, which has a bit more of a colored tint to it than Tex. He doesn't have paint as shiny. I guess he does sort of have the sequins, but, you know, Tex is gold, so... he does have the Dinoco license plate, which is very funny. That's, of course, what Tex's license plate is. And so, of course, Dex has the same. Even the sort of white of the roof is metallic. I guess it's more of a gold, honestly. Yeah, I don't have the regular Dex, so I never really noticed that, but it is pretty cool. Something really funny is that he still has the peg holes in the base. They used to use, or in single packs, I think they still use these little pins to keep the cars in. For multi-packs, they use twist ties that they tie around the wheels. But yeah, all the cars still have these little peg holes molded into the base. Oh, maybe McQueen doesn't. Interesting. Oh, neither does Mater. Okay, so only Dex does. Wait, are they in a different place than Tex is? Wait, what? So what's the deal? Okay, so I guess they were here when Tex was previously a single. That's probably... when Dex was previously a single. That's probably how they pinned him down. Anyway, moving on over to Heavy Metal McQueen. One thing I like about him is that you could see his eyes quite a bit better than you can on the Mattel release. It's a lot easier to see his eyes. Here they're fully tinted. Here they're just barely tinted. I do like his face, and something I especially like about him is the fact that he's covered in glitter. Look at that. He's all shiny from glitter. I really, really like that detail. That's something that the Mattel release actually doesn't have. Of course, we've got the hood here. He's got all the studs on his jacket. This sort of stylized silver lightning bolt design that's, you know, supposed to go in with the studded jacket design. Silver wheels, very nice. The exhaust is looking a little weird there. They just... I don't know, something looks a bit off with it. But, yeah, I really like the design for him. I never really realized that this is supposed to be a lightning bolt design on the side. That is very cool. Unfortunately, on the spoiler, the studs are just painted on, not molded on like on the rest of him, but that's actually the same for the Mattel variant. Still something a little unfortunate, though. The back is just blank black. There's a look at the other side, and then finally, there is a look at his base. Very nice. And finally, we have the one and only Heavy Metal Mater. This is the first time I've reviewed anything Heavy Metal Mater on my channel. This is the first and only piece of Heavy Metal Mater merchandise that I own, with the exception of a custom mini racer I made like 4 years ago. Anyway, I really like his expression. It's pretty in character for Heavy Metal Mater. Sort of an inquisitive look, but it could also be him singing. Would have been really nice if they included microphones with this pack, but they would never do that. We've got his silver engine there. Heavy Metal Mater exists at an interesting point in Mater's history where he's still painted blue, but he has lost his hood, so... yeah, silver engine. Both of his headlights are intact. All 4 of the roof lights. Or not. So, of course, we know one of Mater's roof lights is typically broken. It's this one. And to represent that, instead of molding that in here, they just didn't paint the light on it. Good job, Disney Store. Great job. No one would notice. We've got these designs here. I guess they're supposed to sort of be tattoos, right? We have these toe hooks on his face. I love the open jacket design for him. It's so funny. This, of course, is soft plastic piece. I think this actually might be vinyl, but be careful with it. It could probably snap if you mess with it a bit too much. It even has sort of an inner lining detail that's really nice. He's got all these studs on the side. He's got 3 stars, silver wheels, really, really nicely detailed. Silver toe hook assembly. Of course, the toe hook assembly of the Disney Store Mater has never been all that detailed. And the back is absolutely just littered with a ton of studs. He also has the A113 next to it. I love how there's a break in all the studs to have his license plate. There is a look at the other side, and finally, there is a look at the base. A pretty solid 3-pack if you want the characters from Heavy Metal Mater. I think they made good choices for the 3-pack. You may think Dex is kind of an odd choice, but I think he is a pretty good one. Yeah, the removal of the pullback gimmick is something that your mileage is going to vary on. I'm a little disappointed by it, but at the end of the day, I think it's alright. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.